Premier League title-defining moments. The wait for the 201,718 Premier League season is almost over as Arsenal prepare to host Leicester City at Emirates Stadium at 19:45 BST, the first time the campaign has started on a Friday. English top-flight clubs have opened their checkbooks like never before and are preparing to roll out the new signings. There will be new kits on the pitch, some new faces in the dugouts including a Dutch legend taking charge in South London, and several new rules to adjust to. Clubs splash the cash. The biggest Premier League deals of the summer are armed with TV money, and the riches of the Premier League top-tier clubs have taken spending to a new level. As of the 10th of August, today before the start of the season, teams had invested £1.034 billion on signings, which means the league as a whole is on course to surpass the record £1.165 billion spent last summer, with 3 weeks of the transfer window still remaining. Much of this is down to Manchester City's outlay. Boss Pep Guardiola has splashed out over £200 million on new signings, the first time an English club has reached that figure in a single window. The deals include the £52 million move for left-back Benjamin Mendy, a world record for a defender from League One champions Monaco, the capture of right-back Kyle Walker from Tottenham for an initial £45 million, and the £43 million transfer of midfielder Bernardo Silva, again from Monaco. Manchester United have completed the biggest deal of the summer so far by paying Everton £75 million for striker Romelu Lukaku, while manager Jose Mourinho returned to former club Chelsea for £40 million midfielder Nemanja Matic. Wayne Rooney's glittering career at Old Trafford came to an end as he completed a return to boyhood club Everton, who also brought in goalkeeper Jordan Pickford from Sunderland and defender Michael Keane from Burnley, both for deals that would be worth £30 million, as well as £23.6 million midfielder Davy Klaassen from Ajax. Champions Chelsea parted with £60 million to add striker Alvaro Morata to the squad. Arsenal finally completed a club record £46.5 million deal for frontman Alexandre Lacazette, and Liverpool brought in £34 million winger Mohamed Salah. Newly promoted Huddersfield Town and Brighton both broke their club records on more than one occasion as they looked to survive in the maiden Premier League campaigns, while Newcastle, the other team to come up from the Championship, acquired winger Jacob Murphy from Norwich for £12 million. Tottenham, who finished second last season, have yet to bring in a single player this summer. Quiz Meet the Premier League. New boys Palace bring in Dutch legend. Palace must be attractive to all bar 3 Premier League clubs stuck with what they had, but the most intriguing managerial appointment was Ajax and Barcelona defender Frank de Boer being installed at Crystal Palace following the shock resignation of Sam Allardyce. The 112 times capped Dutchman, Palace's first permanent non-British manager, won 4 Eredivisie titles as boss of Ajax, but lasted just 14 games in an ill-fated spell at Italian giants Inter Milan last season. The revolving managerial door at St Mary's continued to turn in the summer, as former Alives boss Mauricio Pellegrino became Southampton's 4th manager in the past 4 years after replacing Claude Puel. Watford dispensed with Walter Masseri and replaced him with Marco Silva, who resigned as Hull City manager after being unable to save the club from relegation to the Championship. Portuguese Silva was described as one of the most sought-after head coaches by Hornets chairman Scott Duxbury, and having named Craig Shakespeare as caretaker manager following the dismissal of Claudio Ranieri in February 2016, champions Leicester City confirmed him on a 3-year permanent deal. What's new this season? Pitch patterns like this at Leicester's King Power Stadium will no longer be allowed. A new season brings new rules, and some are more drastic than others. Bans for diving. Players who dive or feign injury in English football will face bans under new Football Association regulations. Under the new rules, passed by the governing body at its annual general meeting in May, a panel will review footage each Monday looking for cases of simulation. Any player unanimously found guilty of diving will be given a suspension. Read the full explanation of how it will work. No pitch designs. Pitch patterns and designs will no longer be allowed at stadiums in the Premier League. Rules state that the playing surfaces must contain no markings other than the traditional horizontal and white lines. Meanwhile, Tottenham will play their home games at Wembley this season as White Hart Lane is renovated, while Brighton's Amex Stadium and Huddersfield's John Smith Stadium will host Premier League football for the first time. A new ball. The official competition match ball will be the Nike Autumn V, described as giving optimal touch and feel with its updated bladder. A high-vis version will be introduced when the clocks change from British summertime to Greenwich Mean Time in the autumn. Enhanced away experience. Fans travelling across the country to support their teams on the road this season will be able to take in the action from closer than ever before. Premier League clubs have agreed to a new rule where away supporters will be seated together at all stadiums and at least one block of away fan seats will be made available pitchside. Tickets for away fans will remain capped at £30. Video replays for doctors. Video technology will be allowed into technical areas in an effort to better protect players from the damages of concussion. Club doctors and physios will now be able to watch replays of any injury soon after it has happened. Previously, footage could only be reviewed in the tunnel. Trouble brewing at Chelsea. There's something brewing at Chelsea that isn't nice. Shearer. Former England captain Alan Shearer's top 7 already are nailed on. I don't see any surprises breaking into there. Everton will be 6th or 7th and the rest we know. Only one team can win it. City brought Guardiola to the club to win the Premier League and the Champions League, and he has to win something this year. United boss Mourinho will feel exactly the same. Is for Chelsea. I sense there is something brewing there that isn't nice. They need to get in another 2 or 3 players to have a chance of retaining title. BBC chief football writer Phil McNulty. Guardiola has embarked on some spectacular, not to mention costly, renovation work on his defence. City's attacking riches are already in place and look for Gabriel Jesus to emerge as a Premier League superstar this season. This makes City the champions. There has been turmoil around Stamford Bridge this summer, with Diego Costa's discontent providing the backdrop along with questions about Conte's own future before he signed an improved 2-year deal. No title but a very good shout for a cup. Read Phil McNulty's Premier League predictions in full. Happy 25th to the Premier League. The Premier League turned 25 years old on the 15th of August 2017 and BBC Sport has produced 5 features, each covering a 5-year period during the last quarter of a century of the English top flight. Eric Cantona's Kung Fu Kick, Paulo Di Canio's Shove, Steven Gerrard's Slipper Nagaru. Relive all the best moments. Bello Fay has the force of an animal. Best quotes. Premier League at 25 funny moments from 25 years of the Premier League. Chelsea boss Antonio Conte is anticipating a battle to retain the Premier League crown. He said it is different in other countries where there are 2 clubs fighting for the title. This league has 6 teams that are very strong and we have to be ready to fight for this season. Spurs are yet to do any business, but fullback Danny Rose expects additions, however, not players you have to Google and say, "Who's that?" Will Rafael Benitez finish the season at Newcastle? The Spaniard responded to rumours of a move to the Far East by saying, "I don't know because my Chinese is not so good." Arsenal manager Arsene Wenger was asked about new signing Sead Kolasinac and described the Bosnia defender as having the force of an animal. A scary proposition for Premier League forwards. Huddersfield will not let promotion get to the heads, with boss David Wagner saying, "We will not change our idea or our identity just because we are in the Premier League. People will recognise us as Huddersfield Town." Stat per match. All kick-off times. BST Friday, 11 August. Arsenal v Leicester 1945. Arsene Wenger will become the first manager to take charge of a Premier League match in 22 different seasons. Saturday, 12 August. Watford v Liverpool 12:30. Hornets defender Jose Holebas received the most Premier League yellow cards, 14 last season. Chelsea v Burnley 1500. The reigning champions have lost their opening match of the campaign in only one of the previous 25 Premier League seasons. Leicester v Hull last season. Crystal Palace v Huddersfield 1500. Eagles winger Jason Puncheon 42 was the player to have the most shots without scoring a single goal in the Premier League last season. Everton v Stoke 1500. Toffees striker Wayne Rooney 198 is too short of becoming the second player after Alan Shearer 260 to score 200 Premier League goals. Southampton v Swansea 1500. The Saints have not started a top-flight season with a home victory since 198,889-40 against West Ham. West Brom v Bournemouth 1500. The Baggies scored the most Premier League goals from corners last season, 16. Brighton v Manchester City 1730. City averaged more than 50% possession in all 38 of the Premier League matches last season. Sunday, 13 August. Newcastle v Tottenham 1330. Only Barcelona's Lionel Messi, 25, has scored more league goals in the top 5 European leagues than Spurs striker Harry Kane, 21, in 2017. Manchester United v West Ham 1600. Red Devils boss Jose Mourinho is unbeaten as a manager in opening matches of a Premier League season, 1-7, drawn 1. How to follow on the BBC. As ever, you'll be able to follow coverage of all 380 Premier League games across the BBC this season. The BBC Sport website will bring you live text commentary on each round of matches, while you can also listen to commentary on BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Radio 5 Live Sports Extra. Football Focus will kick off your weekends on Saturday lunchtimes and then follow the goals going in on Final Score on Saturday afternoon, both on BBC One. Match of the Day will once again be your highlights show on Saturday evenings on BBC One, followed by Match of the Day 2 Extra on Sunday lunchtimes and Match of the Day 2 rounding off the action after Sunday's fixtures. The Premier League show on Wednesday the 16th of August, then every Thursday on BBC Two returns, while younger viewers can watch MOTD kick about every Friday morning on CBBC. Missed any of the shows? Catch them again on BBC iPlayer throughout the week. Comprehensive coverage will also be available across the social media platforms, including BBC Sport on Twitter, on Facebook and Instagram. You can also follow updates from Match of the Day on Twitter, on Facebook and the new Instagram page. Want all the biggest sports news and analysis sent direct to your phone or tablet? Then download the BBC Sport app and sign up to football notifications.